What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, listen. Yesterday, I did a video on the details involving the attack on ex-Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin in FCI Tucson, right? His federal holding prison where he was supposedly attacked and hit up 22 times. Through looking through the comments, and you guys left a lot of good comments, shout out to you, and just my experience of being in federal custody, you know, as a former inmate, something didn't sound right. And it's something I overlooked when I was doing my video, and I want to come back to it. First of all, this guy's name is John Tursak. Doing some research, his name is Croatian. Looking at the picture of the guy, I'm like, he don't look like he's Mexican. The guy is Croatian. From being around a lot of different racial groups in prison, prison is segregated, especially when you have prison organizations like La MA, the Black Hand, you know what I'm saying? Or Mexican Mafia, like you want to call them. They only deal specifically with themselves. And on top of that, they don't, if they do have somebody do a hit outside of what, you know, outside of their organization, because this guy's not Mexican, a lot of times it's usually for a favor for somebody else, or it's just, you know, something to get the heat off of them. Now think about this. We got a Croatian guy doing hits for the Mexican Mafia in federal prison, claiming under the pretense of it was Black Friday and this was for BLM. It makes no sense. Why would the Mexican Mafia care about the rights of Black folks? And like now all of a sudden they socially are on the level to where they got to avenge a guy that choked out a Black dude. Ain't got nothing to do with them and their organization. It makes no sense. This whole thing smells like a cover-up or some type of conspiracy to conceal something else. I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm not just grasping at straws. I would be shocked if he wasn't even attacked. And it sounds stupid, but if you go back and really look at it, you never really heard anything till a week later when the story could have been fabricated. I think the FBI got some involvement in it. I didn't understand what it was. But this guy supposedly has been in jail for 30 years. And I mean, he has a 30-year sentence. He's 27 years into it. And all of a sudden, you just now ready to go and strike a blow for social justice against somebody that choked the Black dude out without the permission and the okay from the people that you're supposed to be dealing with. And on top of that, I don't even know if he dealt with those type of folks no more because he was an informant against these folks. With 3 years left, all of a sudden now you want to do bad stuff? Something don't add up. It don't. And I was thinking about that. But this is the part today, and it's just crazy how this came up. Look what I saw on this article. And this is really going to make you think something wrong. Is either some corruption going around or somebody's not saying something. I'll be surprised if they're trying to get Derek Chauvin out of prison. Take a look at this crap.
Alert, shocking new details in the attempted murder of America's most high-profile inmate. Last Friday, Derek Chauvin was shivved 22 times in the library by another inmate. And now we know who the other inmate was. His name is John Tursak. He's 52, and he's already served 27 years of his 30-year sentence. And with 3 years left until freedom, apparently decided, I'm going to murder somebody. Tursak is also a member of the Mexican Mafia. And are you ready? An FBI informant. The complaint says Tursak at first denied wanting to kill Chauvin. And then the complaint says the Mexican Mafia guy waived his Miranda rights when the FBI agent showed up to interview him. First of all, why is the FBI conducting the interview? The FBI only shows up to prison murders as if someone's ordered a hit or if the perp or the victim was still informing. or all of the above. And why does a guy who knows the criminal justice system waive his Miranda rights? And wait until you hear what the FBI says he confessed to. It's just too perfect. The FBI claims that the Mexican mafia guy wanted to murder Chauvin on Black Friday to symbolically avenge Black Lives Matter. So let me get this straight. The Mexican mafia member who poisoned blacks his whole career with drugs and who was incarcerated during the Black Lives Matter movement is a social justice warrior. And anybody who knows anything about prison knows the Mexicans stay with the Mexicans, the blacks stay with the blacks, and the whites stay with the whites. Mexican inmates don't just start murdering white inmates to show solidarity with black inmates.
They don't.
Maybe.
They don't.
But here's what's mysterious. Turskak is listed as white, and the origin of his name is Croatian. Now, how many Croatians do you know in the Mexican mafia? I didn't know the Mexican mafia was so diverse. So this woke Croatian Mexican mobster FBI informant has been suddenly moved to a new federal prison. For whose protection exactly? We're not sure. And Turskak's history with the FBI is fascinating. He flipped on the Mexican mob back in the late 90s and helped the FBI lock up more than 40 of his fellow gangsters. He admitted to carrying out a number of crimes while working as an undercover FBI informant, but was furious during his sentencing and told the judge the FBI made him do it. Quote, "I didn't commit those crimes for kicks. I did them because I had to if I wanted to stay alive. I told that to the FBI agents and they just said, do what you have to do."
See that, guys? When I seen that, that was mind-blowing to me because it made a lot of sense. And it's stuff that I didn't pick up. Now, I will say something to correct myself. You know, because I had to think back when I was speaking earlier to you guys. Now, I have seen, now I don't know many Mexican mafia members, but I've been around a lot of Mexican groups, you know, acclaimed groups in prison. Now, supposedly, Mexican mafia does have some white members in it. And supposedly one of their leaders was of Croatian descent in Los Angeles. Maybe. I mean, we've seen movies where they had white members. So I'm not ruling that out because, I mean, I'm not going to go that deep into, you know, stuff I have never seen before. But it's just odd to me that they would involve themselves in something that where a black guy was victimized by a white dude and they would make him the target, knowing it has nothing to do with them and their affairs in prison. Does that make sense to y'all? This whole thing sounds crazy. Supposedly, when he stabbed the dude up, Derek Chauvin, all of a sudden, the FBI show up and take over. Like the guy said, either you still informing or you know, it has something to do with them that they don't want to get out. All in all, this whole thing is crazy. Somebody said in my comment section yesterday, well, if he's a high profile inmate, why would wouldn't he be in segregation? Two things. One is, it's up to the inmate whether he wants to go to segregation. See, the feds don't make you do stuff. You tell them, hey, okay, I want to do this. I want to do it. They don't say, okay, you're going to do this. He said, no, if you want to be in population, you can be in population. We all know that. You know what I'm saying? That's up to the inmate. Now, I'm going to tell you something. One of the big things that's overshadowing is nobody can really talk about. He's been trying to get back to Minneapolis close to his family. I think this whole thing right here, if he was stabbed up, may be a ploy for him to get back close to the East. Now, I don't think, you know, he would sit there and let somebody stab him up. I don't think that's the conspiracy, but something's wrong. Because as a informant, like they said, you either still informant for the FBI to show up. They just showed up at the thing. Because a lot of times when they deal with you and you get behind bars, unless you got another mission that you on, that you gathering information and giving them to build a case against somebody that's already incarcerated or things you hearing, you don't have no importance to them. So for them to show up, he still must have been doing something, or they had dirt on him, or he had dirt on somebody else to where they had to keep in contact with this man. Either way, this whole thing is funny. Might have been the way to get him out of that prison because somebody might have been catching on to him, and the situation might have started getting hot for Mr. Tursac too. All in all, bottom line is this. This is a lesson for a lot of young people that think doing crimes and being criminal is cool and being in gang stuff. You are never your own person. You're not. Either you being ruled by somebody else on the inside and sent on missions, or you being ruled by somebody on the outside where they know you want your freedom and they'll dangle it and they'll keep moving it back and forth to make you jump through hoops like a trained animal till you can get that final price of freedom. Either way, it's a lose-lose situation. I don't know where this thing is going, but I'm going to tell you something. Watch after a while, now that the FBI got involved, this whole thing go away. Remember, every day as citizens, we're being bombarded with news. Something takes the place of something else and it gets stored in our subconscious and we forget about it. They're going to push this whole thing under the rug. You ain't going to hear no more about Derek Chauvin unless he gets his life expired in prison. You watch my words. This whole thing is a cover up that they masters at fixing stuff. Watch, you won't hear nothing else about this for years to come. I don't think, remember they said he was facing up to 40 years, John Kursak, for doing what he did? Nothing might not even happen. Watch. You won't hear anything. I guarantee it. Almost. I don't want to say totally, but I can almost guarantee it. This whole situation is funny. And it's just weird that they put this out in the public for what? Only to come back, FBI doing it, knowing that's going to be publicly known. Something's just off. Either way, like I said yesterday, if he had issues with the Mexican mafia and the black folk, it would be crazy. Because it was just shocking to me that, I don't know if they think we stupid or think about this, guys. Like I said before, Mexican mafia, this guy supposedly was in it. I don't even think he's in it anymore because if you an informant, people find out with your paperwork. And him walking around in population, there had to be no members there or a member found out who he was. Something's off. Either way, the reason he said he stabbed this guy do not make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? That's like a black dude attacking an Asian dude because he attacked somebody in Chinatown and it's Chinese New Year and he got to get revenge for it. It makes no sense. From the way prison politics work, no. Another thing is, Derek Chauvin, everybody knows who he is by his face. They know who he is when he comes in there. Criminals know more about the law and they know more about the news than a lot of us because they pay attention. In jail, you do everything routine like every day. There are people that watch the news and never forget a face, never forget a name, so they know who he was. He been in jail, almost 2 years? Probably over 2 years. Just now getting attacked? And the person that attacked him wasn't black? I ain't buying it. I'm Stock Market Steve, man. Leave me a comment. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video, man. I want to hear from you, the audience, man. Tell me if any of this makes sense and what's your take on this? Because this whole thing smells like a cover-up or some type of conspiracy. Take care.